Hey Zablies! So today we're going to answer the Q&A questions. You may hear the kids. I am at home with them. So you may hear them in the kitchen laughing and playing around. If I'm looking down at my phone, I'm just looking at the questions. So I'm just going to start from the top and I'm just going to start. First question is, are your other kids affected by EDS? If so, do they have the same issues as Savannah with GI and everything? That's a yes and no question. So, Cindy is diagnosed with EDS, and her biggest issues are her joints. She doesn't really have GI issues. Periodically, she'll have some constipation issues or something, but she is more joint issues than anything. Cole has not officially been diagnosed, but over the last couple of years, his pediatrician does suspect that he has EDS. Now, he has some GI issues, not as bad as Savannah's, nowhere near. He's kind of in between of Sydney and Savannah. However, he has a kidney condition also called multicystic dysplastic kidney disease. But he has joint issues too, which is what makes him suspect it when he's really active or something. Like his knee a couple of times has subluxed, so that's why we suspect that Cole has EDS also. Tips for someone who is looking for an EDS diagnosis. That was difficult actually for us to get an EDS diagnosis. We suspected EDS with Savannah for years before we got her diagnosis. And even when we got her diagnosis, so we got her diagnosis here back home, and even when we got her diagnosis here back home, there was 2 doctors at Vanderbilt that kind of disagreed with her diagnosis. So it wasn't until we went to Ohio, who specializes in EDS, that we got her official diagnosis, I guess you would say, although she was diagnosed before then. So it's hard. Tips, I mean, the only thing I could say is find somewhere who's very educated with EDS. If you can get to Ohio, I suggest you getting to Ohio. There are some tips and tricks on kind of getting around too, because they do have a waiting list for the EDS clinic, I guess you would say. So you can get in through like GI or somewhere like that, and then they can refer you to the EDS clinic. That's how it worked for us. She was originally referred up there for GI, who then referred her to EDS. So that's kind of the tips I would have for you for that. How old were the kids when they were diagnosed, and who diagnosed them? So Savannah, she's 14 now. We've been going to Ohio for 2.5 years, so she'd have been about 11. She probably was between 10 and 11 when she got her original diagnosis here back home, which is where the 2 doctors kind of disagreed with the diagnosis. She got her official diagnosis 2.5 years ago, so probably around 12. 11 and a half, 12 years old when she got her official diagnosis in Ohio. Sydney also got her diagnosis when she was really young here at Vanderbilt also, which would have put her, she's 5 now, so that would have put her probably 2.5, 3 maybe, somewhere around there. What is a Malone or mace, and how does it work? So a Malone is a tube that, okay, so let me explain how the surgery works first. So you have, and your appendix is attached to your large intestines. They take your appendix and they pull it up to your belly button, and that creates a tunnel to your large intestine. They put a tube in the large intestine, and that is a way to flush the intestines from the beginning of the large intestines all the way through. So that's what it is. What it's for is to clean out her colon. Her colon doesn't contract properly to alleviate stool, and so she has to have help with that. So the tube flushes water, and it's actually saline and glycerin through, and it just kind of power washes her colon pretty much. Will Savannah rely just on tube feeds? how much Kate Farms, how much Pedialyte, or will she eat orally too? So Savannah eats orally and is tube fed. Right now she only gets 400 mLs of tube feed. However, that's probably going to be increasing soon because she's only orally eating roughly 1,000 to 1,200 calories a day, and they want her at 2,000 to 2,300. So when we go back here in about a week to have her tubings for her G-tube and Malone switch to buttons, I will have to discuss that with them. We will probably have to increase her Kate Farms, which is her feeds. As far as her Pedialyte, Savannah gets 2 liters of Pedialyte a day, and then the goal is to try and get her to orally drink 1 liter. So in all, she needs to get about 3 liters of fluids a day. She gets 2 liters through her G-tube of Pedialyte. Will she rely on this? I want to say hopefully not, but in all honesty, I think that as far as the G-tube, she will probably always have a G-tube. The Malone, they have found that kids that have Malones after about 18 months of their colon being able to kind of shrink down and kind of relearn, it almost relearns. That's the goal and the hope for the Malone, is that she will be able to pull the Malone. But as far as the G-tube, the hope is that she won't always have it, but reality is that she will probably from now on always forever have a G-tube. How does the orthopedic side affect things for Savannah? So Savannah didn't have orthopedic issues for a very long time. It wasn't until the last 2 or 3 years that she started having orthopedic issues. So she has fractured her foot a couple of times. She does have subluxations and dislocations. Like I said, as she's growing and getting older, they're happening more often. Like I said, Sydney has more of that issue. She's had to wear AFOs, SMOs, derotation straps, all that stuff. Savannah only wears inserts into her shoes, so they're not visible. They're just help. She has a flexible flat foot, and that helps with putting her knees and ankles and things like that in more alignment and better position. She does have to do PT regularly for her joints to help strengthen them. But orthopedic side of things, it's not as bad as I have seen. Some people have issues. So yeah, does she have to have any surgeries for these issues, wear any support? So no, she's not had any surgeries, but she does wear the inserts in her shoes. That's the only thing she has. Let's see. How did you explain Savannah's feeding tube and Malone to the younger 2? What's the best way to explain to someone under 9 if they ask questions? Okay, so for the feeding, the G-tube, because she had an NG tube for so long, they understood that it was the same thing, that it was a tube that went into her stomach. It just was a surgical one, so instead of down her nose, it was just directly into her stomach. So that one wasn't too hard to explain. As far as when she had the NG tube, how did I explain that to them? I just explained it in that way, that it's like a straw that's in her nose, it goes down her throat and into her stomach, and that's where she gets food because she can't eat it. It was helpful that when she opened her mouth, they could see the yellow tube, so they understood how the tube kind of went down and into the stomach. It's been a lot of just slow education to them on how the tube works and that she can't eat enough. And so when it came to the G-tube, it was easy to explain, and I just showed pictures. Pictures were a big thing. As far as the Malone, it was kind of the same thing. I'm very, very straightforward with the kids. Sissy has poop in her belly and she needs help getting it out. That kind of thing. Just on their terms, using the word tummy or a straw or anything along that line. Is just kind of how I explained it to Sydney and Cole for them to understand and prep them for when she was having surgery, things like that. But I showed them a lot of pictures. not pictures necessarily of like the actual ones, but like the drawing pictures of how it showed like the stomach to the abdominal wall and how the tube is in it. Now for tips for teens with EDS, I'm gonna let Savannah answer that one. She's actually not home right now, so at the end of this vlog, I'll have Savannah give y'all the tips. Okay, here's another question. How do you make time for all the kids? I feel like. Okay, and this person said they feel like all their attention is to their special needs. I don't like to use that term special needs, to be honest, but their child who needs medical help more than the other children. And they didn't use the term special needs, but sometimes it's easier for people to understand what I'm talking about when I say, because technically Savannah's considered special needs. Mentally, no, she's not special needs, but medically she is. And how do I make time? That's a hard one, and sometimes I don't even feel I succeed at that. There are times when the younger two will be like making comments about always something about Savannah, and I've tried my best just to figure out that time frame where Savannah doesn't need me, whether it's during, you know, her irrigation when she's in the bathroom for an hour, or if she doesn't feel well. And it's not necessarily that she needs me, she just doesn't feel well and she needs to rest. I'll take those times to, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, to sit down and spend with the kids. Come here, baby girl. And so it's all, I agree with you in the fact that it feels like they see you. It feels like all my attention goes to Savannah, and they sometimes feel like I don't get to spend that time with them that I should, or at least that's, as a mother, that is how it feels. Do you feel like I spend more time with Sissy than you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you always go up there every time.
Because I have to help take care of her?
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel like you get enough time with Mommy?
Yeah.
Yeah? She'll come and snuggle with me when she's wanting Mommy time. This is what she'll do. She'll come and sit with me no matter what I'm doing. Or like right now behind me in this recliner. Okay. In this recliner, she's discovered a little hidden spot. So if I'm in my room doing laundry or whatever, sometimes she just wants to be near me. It's not necessarily that she wants my attention. Hey. Sorry. Come here. I have a question for you. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Do you feel like I spend more time with Savannah than I do with you? You do? Do you feel like you still get a lot of time with me? No? Why not?
You always have time with everybody else but me.
Why?
No, because...
Is it because I'm taking care of Sissy?
No, because Savannah got a tube in her tummy and used to have her, have it in her nose. I always felt like that you will have some more time with Savannah than me now.
Is it because I'm taking care of Savannah? Yeah. What is hold on, Cindy. What is something I can do better for you to feel like I'm spending more time with you?
I don't know. Maybe have some mommy time.
Some mommy time. So see, there are times that I have to spend that time with Savannah, and it's hold on, sweetie. It's finding that balance, and there are times that I struggle with it. I mean, as you see, Sydney doesn't feel like I struggle with it, but obviously Cole does, and so there are times I struggle with it, and it's just a matter of figuring it out, and what I can do to help him feel better about it. So I mean, it's hard. There's a hard balance in that question, and there are some days that I do well with it, and there are some days that apparently I don't, and I know I don't. I think even if you have a child with medical issues or without medical issues, as a parent and a mother of multiple children, it's hard to divide yourself evenly for them not to feel like one's being left out. And so that's just, it's hard. I hope that helps. And I hope it helps you see that even though my vlogs may seem like my kids feel like they get all my time in the world, obviously Cole doesn't feel that way. And I do my best, don't I, to spend time with you when he's not getting in trouble.
Mommy.
Yeah. And I do my, hold on baby, I do my best to spend time with them. And you know, here soon we're going to take a family trip, aren't we? We're going to take a family trip and enjoy each other and have more fun time before school starts back. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why our tablets are charging.
That's why your tablets are charging. Yep. So,
watch it.
I hope this helps with answering some questions about or answering the questions that y'all have. If you have more, you can leave it under here, and we'll do another Q&A and answer those. And so, yeah. I love you.
Hey, Mom.
Yes.
Savannah wants to have having 7 babies, or is that 6?
Savannah wants 7 babies. I know, she's crazy.
Hi,
guys. I love you.
That's way too many babies.
I love you. That's way too many babies. There's some people out there who have 7 babies.
Or 100.
No, you can't have 100. So, anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this and answered some questions.
Mom.
And I'll let Savannah chime in on. Okay, please stop. Stop.
Mom, that's poop in my room.
Okay, we'll clean it up. So I hope this answered y'all's questions. We'll let Savannah end this with her tips for teens with EDS for y'all. So we're gonna say bye, and y'all will see Savannah now.
Bye.
Hey guys, I'm sitting here in the car editing this vlog while Savannah's getting her braces off, and I wanted to say something on one of the questions I was answering. When Cole said that he doesn't feel like spending enough time with him. And it is a very hard balance. But what I really want to tell you is that this weekend we had a family trip, and Robert and I both got to spend almost a full day with just Cole. We went hiking, and nobody else wanted to go hiking with my brother and his husband. And so it was just my brother, Jeff, Robert, me, and Cole, and we got to spend all day hiking. And so Cole got to really get some one-on-one time with me and Robert, which was awesome. And so sometimes it is just, when you find that opportunity, you jump on it, you take it, and you do the best you can while you have that time to spend it with the child who, you know, kind of needs it the most. So I just wanted to jump on and just kind of say, over the weekend I did find some time with him. He doesn't feel as down now. And yeah, so I just wanted to chime in on that little part real quick before y'all watch Savannah's tips.
Ow, that hurt.
Oh, quit rocking. I'm waiting on you.
I don't know what to say.
They want to know. Quit rocking. Zeebleys want to know how, as a teenager, tips you deal with EDS. So start off with pain. How do you deal with pain?
Heating pads and pillows and...
Bathtub.
Not really. I don't really use bathtub.
But you have in the past.
Okay, yeah, bathtub.
You kind of got limited on that after surgery.
Well, not that. I just don't really use bathtub. I use my heating pad.
You also use things like ibuprofen.
Yeah. I try not to use that as much, though.
You use, when you're really active and it's due from activity, you use like BioFreeze. How do you deal with EDS while, from the way people look at you, like other people's opinions?
Well, those are their opinions. I have my own.
You have to speak up. Speak up.
They have their opinions. I have my own opinions. Everybody has their opinions about stuff. You shouldn't get upset about it, practically. That's the way I look at it. There's no point in getting upset about somebody's opinion, because it's what they think. As long as you are okay, if you think something, like whatever your opinion is what matters, practically.
Okay. How do you deal with school days?
Well, paying for school days is really nothing you can do other than go to the nurse and ask to call your parents.
What are some ways that you... There's still some ways that you get through the day. Whether
really
it's breathing.
There's really nothing that I do in school to help.
Okay, well, what about mentally? How do you deal with things?
What do you mean by that?
Like, how do you deal with things when it's hard, but you're trying to stay positive? Because you know that there are other days that will be better.
Thank God other days is going to be better, so I don't know. I don't really have that problem. I don't have that problem. There's nothing at school that really makes me upset.
I'm not talking about school. We're past school.
You just asked me about school.
I know. I moved on.
You're like Granny. You changed the subject so quickly.
How do you deal with a hard day mentally? Like when you're beating yourself up, when you're upset or mad because you have to deal with the condition that you have to deal with.
Sidetracking myself.
Like how?
Watching TV, doing something that makes me happy. Watching TV or doing something that makes me happy, or yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, friends.
Anything else?
No.
You look like you're sitting funny. You're all like slouched, hunched over, whatever. So, I can't think of anything else. So that is how she deals with days. If you want any specific tips on like a specific thing, if we didn't touch on it, then leave it down below and we can write you back about it.
Oh, also we're having a giveaway. And there will be... Can you explain it? Because I don't really know how to explain it.
Yes, I'm going to do a separate video on it. I've already decided. It'll just be a short video.
You told me that I was supposed to explain this.
It will be a short video, very short video, just explaining it once we have everything in for the giveaway. So.
But there will be 2B packs.
Yes, it's for all our fellow G-tubers, or GJ-tubers, or J-tubers.
Whatever kind of thing.
Really, even Malones, any Sacostomies or Malones can use 2B pads. So, but yeah, we will make a separate video about that. So, alright, you want to say bye?
Bye.